Do. Get away there. Right then. Just actually, let's have a bit of a pulse check in the comments before we get going. Who's ever done any work on manifestation? Who's got a general bit of knowledge about it? Who doesn't have a clue? Who's obviously heard about it but doesn't really know? Hey, Michaela, I'll let you off, mate. Pip, yeah. Donna, nothing. Tiny little bit, yeah. Yeah. Over the past, I've heard about it. I thought it was literally just a case of having a vision board up and kind of visualizing stuff. And I do believe in positive visualization, by the way. I think it's a very strong tool to use. But we're going to go a bit more into the kind of sciencey bit as well today. Right, let's do it. Manifesting success, how your vibration is creating your reality. Let's go. So, have you ever set a goal and nothing happened? You wrote it down, maybe you got your vision board out, told yourself, this is my year, this is my time, and then nothing. Life got in the way, you lost a bit of momentum, the universe wasn't playing ball, and you end up at square one. Hands up if that's happened to you in the past. Yeah, yeah, okay. So, very important phrase. Let this sink in. The vibration you put out into the world is the vibration that comes back to you. And most of us are broadcasting the wrong frequency without even knowing it. So today we're going to go deep, not the Instagram version of manifestation, but the real scientific, psychological truth behind why some people attract success while other people keep grinding and grinding and getting nowhere. Okay? Makes sense? Evening, Jill. Nice of you to join us. I did actually see you were trying to join before. Get some better Wi-Fi. Right. Are people trying to make me have a stroke? I'm going to manifest some positivity before I go mental. Right. So manifestation isn't magic. It's not about visualizing a Range Rover until it happens on and it's on your driveway. Here's what it really is. Number one, thoughts that create your feelings. Feelings that drive your behavior. Behavior then creates your results, and results then shape your identity. Make sense? Of course it does. So let's go through that quickly again. So your thoughts, so what we think about, create the feelings that we have. Feelings that we have drive behavior. If we feel like going to work out, that's a behavior. We're going to go and work out. Okay? That behavior then obviously equals our results. That results then begins to shape our identity. Makes perfect sense, right? So these are the three frequencies most women are stuck in. Okay? Pick which one you are. It might be a mixture of one or two. Survival mode. I'm just trying to get through the week. Everything kind of feels like a threat. Rest feels wrong. Self-care feels selfish. You're in cortisol overdrive, so obviously cortisol, which we spoke about last week, and you cannot attract growth from survival mode. That's really important to realize here. And I'd say the majority of you in here and the majority of people I work with enter the program in survival mode. That's why they're here. Obligation mode. This is an interesting one. I should be doing this. I'll feel guilty if I don't. Actions taken from shame, not power, don't create transformation. Okay? Let that sink in. Actions taken from shame, not power, do not create transformation. They create resentment and then burn out and then you stop. Okay? So we shouldn't look to transform our bodies and our mindsets because we hate the way we look and we hate the way we feel and we hate this. We might say those things, but we should do it because we value ourselves, we respect ourselves to make those changes. Okay? And then third one, worthiness mode. This is where we want to get. I deserve this. I'm capable of this. I'm becoming the woman who does this. And this is where the magic happens. Actions from this place compound differently and attract different results. Okay? You essentially have to become the woman who has the result before the result arrives. And this is kind of linked into the work that we do on identity. You have to become the woman who has the results before the results arrive. That's not wishful thinking. That's how identities change. Okay? So let's go into the neuroscience behind this work. So we're not going to go too deep into this because it's a bit heavy. But this, I wanted to put this in to show you, ladies, that this isn't just about thinking a bit more positively. Okay? It's not about just wanting to be happier. There's actual science-backed data that really backs this up. Okay? So the reticular activating system, say that 5 times fast. Your brain takes in 11 million bits of information a second, but you consciously process only about 50. And your reticular activating system decides what gets through, what's filtered, based on what you believe to be important and true. And again, we spoke about this before. It's kind of saying, like, what we believe and what we think about ourselves or think about our situation, your brain will try and back you up and prove you right. So if we consistently say we are just that person that is a quitter, or we're that person that tries and fails all the time and is not good at this, your brain will find stuff to feed you and kind of think, oh, you're right because of this. It'll look for stuff to prove you right. So, like I said, your brain finds evidence for what you truly believe. And it goes on that old saying, ladies, whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. Okay? Whatever you think, if you think you can, if you think you can't, you're right both ways. Okay? Because your brain will find evidence to back you up. So operating from high frequency belief, i.e., I am the kind of woman who shows up for herself, your RAS filters for evidence of that. And operating from low frequency, I always fail at this, it filters for every obstacle and reason you can't. So essentially what we're saying, whatever you're looking for, you will find. If you're looking for things that are going to make you fail, if you're looking for hurdles and obstacles and things that get in the way and things why you can't do it, you'll find them. Okay? Or if we're looking for positives, if we're looking for opportunities, if we're looking for ways around things, we will also find them. So again, your brain will always find evidence for whatever you believe. The question is, what are you asking it to look for? I'm trying to keep on top of the messages as we're going. So Eleanor was saying definitely 1 and 2 in there. Number 1 for sure. Yeah, 100%. So your emotional set point. Every one of you has an emotional set point. The baseline you keep returning to, even after a good day, even after a win. For some, it's anxiety, for others, guilt or frustration. And we hear this, well, I hear this a lot working with people. And I look for it in the language that they use, especially when they first join the program. Because the first couple of weeks, I'll ask them, how's everything going? We'll have a chat. Yeah, things are going great. Energy's great. Feeling good. Feeling really positive. I just hope I can keep this up. I hope things stay like this. I hope, I hope things don't fuck up at some point. Do you know what I mean? We're looking for that thing that's going to happen. We're so used to it. So we're looking for it. So why transformations feel hard? Hey, mate, you okay? Playing your PlayStation. 5 minutes, yeah? Is mummy still in the bath? Okay. 5 minutes. Get your pajamas on, please, buddy. Thanks, mate. So why transformations feel hard? The workouts aren't too hard. Some of them might be more difficult than others. The nutrition isn't too complicated, right? The real barrier is that your emotional set point is at odds with the identity you're trying to step into. You can't sustainably outperform your set point. You'll always drift back to it. And we're going to talk obviously further into the seminar about how we change this. All of this links back, ladies, to our how we perceive things. Okay? The real work is raising that set point, shifting the baseline. So the high vibration version of you isn't somewhere you visit occasionally. It's just who you are. Who here knows someone that you could say, yeah, they've got low frequency? Someone who's always bitching about something. They're always moaning about something. If you've got a problem, they've got a problem 10 times bigger. No matter what you say to them, they put a negative spin on things and you can say, yeah, they've got low frequency. And being around them can be absolutely exhausting. Who knows someone like that? I mean, you don't have to name names. But has anyone ever been around people like that where they think, Jesus Christ, you're draining the fucking life out of me? Michelle, yeah, few. Leon, my mother. Pip, yeah. Mood Hoover. That's what I was, Vic, that's what I was looking for. The Mood Hoover, yeah. Fucking Mood Hoovers. Sucks the shit out of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the way you put that, Donna. You're speaking my language. Sophie, yeah, I know, something like that. She's gone. Yeah, love that. Eleanor, mother-in-law, Carrie, me. Me, I stopped going to the gym with my best mate because of it. Yeah. It's exhausting, isn't it? Because it's infectious as well, right? You can't help but let them bring you down. And when you're maybe struggling yourself, it can be devastating. Who's got a person that when they're around, they've got high frequency, when they speak to them, when they receive a message or a voice note from them, it instantly lifts you up and you're like, oh God, like, I feel so much better just having a quick chat. Who's got them people around them? Who's got that person that like has the complete opposite effect of a mood hoover? Michelle, best friend. Very lucky to have a best friend like that. Donna, yeah. Eleanor, we all have that person. Ah, Michaela, thank you very much, mate. I'm glad I can be that person. Carrie, thank you very much. Yeah, we need that person. But what this seminar is tonight, ladies, is about us becoming that person for ourselves so that we don't have to rely on anyone to bring us up. So we don't have to rely on anyone to reset that point, to shift that baseline. We can do it ourselves. And you know what? I'm going off a tangent here. I do apologize. But when I first started looking into manifestation, because I bought Amy a book, and after we finish this, I'll post the book into the group. And it's the first book she's ever read all the way through, as far as I'm concerned. Like she's ADHD just like me. Like we've got millions of books like half read. But she went through the full lot, and I started reading it actually. And at the time I read it, I was struggling a bit. I was mentally and emotionally just a bit exhausted, a bit overwhelmed. Like people like me still get like that, by the way, ladies. And I read the first chapter, and I was reading how the vibrations we put out there are what we receive, like the real baseline of what manifestation is. And I instantly felt better because I realized what I was doing. I was walking around with my head firmly up my arse and expecting things to get better, expecting me to wake up the next day feeling, oh, I feel fine now. When it was ultimately up to me to shift that vibration that I was putting out there. Okay. So transformation isn't about doing different things. It's about being a different person who naturally does those things. So this is the Apex Manifestation Framework. Do you know, it actually took me ages to be able to say the word manifestation. I kept fucking it up to the point where I thought I'm not even going to do this seminar because I'm not tripping over that word every 2 seconds, but I've got the grips of it. I think it's my turkey teeth. So let's get into this. Number one, clarity of identity. We're going to clearly define the woman that you are becoming. Not the woman that you want to be in the future, not the woman that you wish you were, the woman that you are becoming. Because as long as you're on this program, that is fucking happening. That's a dead cert. Number two is emotional alignment. Feel your way to the result before it arrives. Number three is aligned action. Take action from identity, not guilt. Remember that 40% counts. Number four, environment design. And this is what we just talked about with the mood hoovers. Protect and upgrade your frequency ecosystem. Okay? Sounds a bit complex, but that's basically protecting our energy, really. Protecting our little bubble. If we keep letting these mood hoovers in and taking over and hijacking us, it's going to be really difficult. So sometimes we need to change our environment. Sometimes we need to cut people the fuck out. As I've got older, I've I feel like I've become more and more ruthless into who I allow into my environment, into my ecosystem. If you're not bringing value to my life, if you're only going to take, you're gone. And I'm talking friends of years. I'm talking family members. I'm talking a sister. And I know that might sound absolutely brutal, but this is our lives we're talking about, right? Which is very short as it is. So let's not fucking waste it on people that don't deserve it and, don't warrant it. And number five, releasing resistance. Resistance is loudest at your breakthrough door. And we're going to go through these quickly now, okay? Let me just catch up on any messages. Oh, just Leanne and Donna laughing at me. Right, next ones. Let's go. So, pillars number one and two, identity and emotional alignment. So, clarity of identity. This is really important. Let this sink the hell in. Don't set goals, define an identity because the goals will follow. So it's not, I want to lose weight, but who is the woman I am becoming? How does she think? What does she believe? What does she refuse to tolerate? Write it now. I am becoming a woman who, present tense, because behavior follows identity, not the other way around. Okay? People think if they kind of set up some habits, start losing weight, start getting in shape, their identity will follow. It's not the right way to do it. Because if that identity doesn't follow you at the same rate the results do, you've got a much bigger chance of going back to that old identity because you still see yourself as her. Does that make sense? And I hear all the time where, we've got clients in this program, some have lost 50, 60, up to 70 pound, one of you have. And sometimes you feel like you still feel the same person when you start the program. Because I have to keep reminding you, because you have a bit of a dip in mindset, a bit of dip in motivation, which is natural. And I have to remind you, right, don't you fucking forget how far you've come. You are not that same person. You hold a completely different identity. She doesn't try to be consistent. She's consistent because of who she is. And the thing about identity, ladies, you can turn this on and change it now, like immediately. Not even tomorrow morning, but now. If you decide for yourself, I am the woman who looks after herself. I am the woman who is working on her strength levels. I'm the woman who's getting to grips with her nutrition. Not the woman that's got a shit diet and's trying to make it better. I'm a woman who's constantly trying to grow and get better as a person. And then there's the emotional alignment. It's not enough to think your way towards goals. You must feel your way. Emotional rehearsal is used by elite athletes for decades. So when you hear about these athletes and world champions, they've all got these kind of sports psychologists behind them. This is what they do. They rehearse the success in the head over and over again. Because your nervous system doesn't distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. It's like when we have really vivid dreams, you wake up in panic because it feels so fucking real, doesn't it? Like you wake up like fuck. I went through a time where I was having these dreams that were batshit crazy. I used to wake up every day like, where the fuck did that come from? What's that about? And my heart was pounding, fucking sweaty fod on me and everything. It's because your nervous system can't distinguish between the two. So daily practice is gratitude forward. 5 minutes each morning feeling grateful for what's coming, as if it's already here. Because gratitude is the highest vibration you can operate from for what's already on its way. And in fact, pulse check in the comments now, ladies. Let's let's practice some gratitude now. One thing that you're truly grateful for that just bang pops into the head straight away. Let's go. Catch up on these. Michaela, I'm a woman who's becoming her best self. Yeah, love that. Leanne, I'm a woman who brings the laughter and fun into the room. Yeah, nice. That's a great one, by the way. Sophie, I've become a woman who believes in herself and has constantly become the best version of herself. 100% agree with that, Soph. Eleanor, I'm truly grateful for my children. Awesome. Pip, grateful for my kids. Yeah. Donna, two boys. Leanne, I'm grateful for my health. And you know what? This gratitude thing can be so simple and easy, but so fucking impactful. In fact, yeah, this is my simple gratitude. How did the camera come out then? Did you see that? What's that about? Right, so this is my simple gratitude journal. But in it is it says something I'm grateful for and people I'm grateful for. And it's got different ones all the time. Um, yeah, here's one. I feel like I'm reading you my diary. Um, so on the 8th of January, I am thankful for I put my family. When all is feeling lost and hopeless, I have them. And small victories are today. After a mentally and emotionally difficult day, I still shown up for myself, my clients, and my family. Training, diet, self-care, phone down, journal, done. That's what I put on that day. But these are really good, by the way. Very easy to do. Um, so let me just catch up on these. Carrie, I'm very grateful to choose to step back into this and become the better me. Yeah, I'm grateful for you being here, Kaz. Michaela, I'm grateful for my husband, family, and dog for being my rocks, good and bad. Love that. I'm just trying. I think Michelle got kicked out. Um, Pip, can we have a link to Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'll throw that link in. I think it was from, it would have been Amazon. I'm pretty sure it was because I got Amy in the same one. So yeah, I'll put that in for you. Right then. So pillar 3, 4, and 5, action, environment, and resistance. So aligned action and the 40% rule. Manifestation without action is delusion. And this is the key feature, I think. Because you know when people say, I want to manifest something or I want to think positively about something, it's still going to require action behind it. Otherwise, it's quite simply kind of sat there on the end of your bed, like you did as a kid, praying for. I did this for years nearly. I prayed for Power Wheel. Remember them Power Wheels as a kid? They're like electric cars. I prayed for one all the time. Never got one because I didn't take action. I should have told my mum and dad about it rather than praying for it. Um, but it's not just that you act, it's the energy you act from. So on hard days, I've got 40% today and giving it because this is who I am. That action taken from identity is more powerful than a perfect workout taken from guilt. Okay? So that's a strong identity, isn't it? A woman who shows up and gives what she has when she has it. That's a massive identity because if you do that, if you show up and give what you have every single day, can you imagine where you'll be in a year? Imagine it. Everything you did, you give it everything you've got. But a lot of people Convince themselves if they haven't got enough, they don't give anything at all. That's the issue. And environment design. You'll never out vibrate your environment. Show the 5 people you spend the most time with, physically or digitally, and that's your frequency. This apex tribe, so our community exists because surrounding yourself with women doing the work pulls your frequency up. It's neuroscience. And you've got, right, let me grasp this quickly before we move on. What we found in the past is the majority of people love being part of the community because it inspires them. Because people sharing wins and you seeing people's success should inspire and propel you forward because they've got everything that you've got. Although sometimes we find people who maybe are not taking action right now or hold them back can get quite triggered from other people's results and other people's success. But that's obviously a them thing. That's their frequency being too low. Okay? If you ever feel like you are getting frustrated with or triggered by other people posting wins and that is a sign that you know you're capable of much more and you're not giving it. And if you ever feel that way, reach out to me straight away and we'll get to the bottom line. Okay? And I know this from experience. I'm part of a group, part of a kind of a consortium of what's regarded as like the top 100 coaches in the world. And even I can unlock things that they're achieving and things they're doing with clients and think, I should be there. Or why aren't I doing that? Whenever I felt like that, it's always come from a low frequency mindset. It's always a temporary one, but I know that's what the cause is. So release and resistance. Resistance shows up as procrastination, self-sabotage, and the voice saying, who do you fucking think you are? The painful truth, the closer you get to breakthrough, the louder resistance gets. It's not a sign you're failing, it's a sign you're close. And again, as you can imagine, over 20 years doing this, I've come across this as well, where women start doing brilliantly in their journey and then start sneaking back to self-sabotage. They ultimately don't feel comfortable at succeeding because they've never got to this level before. And then we need to release that resistance. Go all in. So, the Apex Morning Protocol. This takes 12 minutes, but I'll be very interested to know who's actually willing to set aside just 12 minutes for 30 days consistently to see how much you notice a shift. Because it's not going to be just how well you feel, but in what starts showing up in your life. So between minutes 1 and 3, it's to set your identity. Before you pick up your phone, 3 present tense statements. I am the kind of woman who, speak them aloud, put them in your head. But ideally, the words need to go into the air. Whether you're going for your morning walk, whether you're getting your shit together ready for work, set your identity. 3 present tense statements. In fact, let's do them right now. Michelle, can you add it as a habit? Yeah, I probably could actually. Yeah. If you want me to set your habit, one of your habits on your program as manifestation, or this in particular, the Apex Morning Protocol, absolutely. Just message me and I'll get on that tomorrow for you. Not a problem at all. So between minutes 1 and 3, set your identity. Minutes 4 to 6, gratitude forward. 5 things you're grateful for. As if they're already happening. Don't say the words, generate the feeling. Minutes 7 to 9, 1 aligned action. Not a to-do list. 1 action most aligned with the woman you're becoming. Write it down. This is your commitment to yourself. Okay? So 1 aligned action that day. What could that be, ladies? If we were at tomorrow morning right now, and I said, "What's your one aligned action for today?" Because you think about it, if you did one every single day that pushed you slightly towards where you want to be, compound effect over a few months, that's going to make a huge difference. So, what's one aligned action that you could set for tomorrow? Get it in the chat. Let's go. I'm not moving on by it before you do it, by the way, so you better get cracking. To be present. Be more specific with that, Leanne. Be present with what? Be present whilst you're with family. Be present in general. Like, what's that look to yourself? Concentrate on one job at work and say no till I get it done. Cool. Eleanor, show up for myself. I mean, it could be something so simple. If you've got a training session in that day, it could just be that. I'm going to work out. Not only am I going to work out, I'm going to fucking work out hard. Like today, I'm going to show up with the identity of a woman who gets shit done to a high standard. Doesn't just go and piss around in a gym and, you know, mince around doing throwing around some 2 kilograms. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna push some weight. I'm gonna show how strong I am. Carrie, keep on being this version of myself and push even more. Yeah, love it. And then number 4 is 10, obviously minutes 10 to 12. Breathe and release. In for 4 counts, hold for 4, out for 6. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system, biologically lowering cortisol and shifting your vibration. In fact, anyone here part of the tribe when we did a bit of breath work in the group? I'm not sure there is. So we've actually done this in the program before where I did a bit of breath work and we did breath work, positive visualization, and then a stretching session. Who in here would be interested in doing that one morning? Breath work is unbelievably powerful. Michaela, Eleanor's there, yeah, definitely, yeah. I has anyone ever heard of 9D breath work? 9D breath work. So one of the, not the last client meetup that we did, the one before that, I took all our clients in the program to a yoga studio and we did a 9D breathwork seminar. So basically, you've got a blindfold on, you've got headphones on, and you're being talked through the breath work. It's like a meditation breath work. And it basically teaches you how to breathe properly and it's it's mad. Everyone loved it. Maybe we can think about doing that for our next meetup. Um, but I did one beforehand. I went and did a 9D breathwork session myself. And I did get warned, like, it can be unbelievably overwhelming and emotional. And they're like, if you start crying at the end of it, don't be alarmed. I was like, shit, what I've actually got myself into here. So if I start crying in front of in a big yoga studio full of women, you'll never see me again. Um, Long story short, yeah, it did happen. Like unbelievable. I was doing the breath work and then everything went black. Passed out, woke up, thought someone had thrown a bucket of water at me. Turns out it wasn't, it was sweat and tears streaming from my eyes. But it felt like literally the world had been shifted from my shoulders. It was crazy shit. But yeah, I'm more than happy to get in a morning breathwork session. I mean, we could do it in the evening or the morning. I'll put a poll into the WhatsApp group and see what you guys prefer. Whether you want to do like an evening breathing routine to help you relax before an evening, or you want to do like a morning kind of gratitude, positive visualization. Yeah, we can do that. And just think, ladies, in a couple of weeks' time, 5 o'clock in the morning, it's going to be daylight. How good is that going to feel? Not waking up in the dark. So, evening reflection, 3 questions before sleep. What evidence did I collect today that I am the woman I'm becoming? And this is a big one. A lot of people finish their days without sense of achievement, without being able to pat themselves on the back. And all of you women in here can do that. But what evidence are you collecting that you are the woman you're becoming? Where did I allow low frequency thinking to make a decision for me? The most important question, not to beat yourself up, but to catch the pattern. You can't change what you can't see. So what did you allow to change your mindset? Was it a shitty comment from knobhead Sandra in the office? Was it a crappy email that someone sent to you with really kind of passive aggressive kind of language? What was it that you allowed to get in your skin that when you think back to, you think, oh, why did I let that bother me so much? It's catching it. It's being aware of it, right? And what is the one thing I'm proud of today, regardless of whether it was perfect? In fact, it's evening now. I want these now. Right, let's do it because we are nearly finished. What evidence did you collect today that you are the woman becoming? What did you do today that is one of those things that proves to you that you are becoming that woman? It could be something so simple. I woke up and immediately had a healthy breakfast. I went on the train today, even though I couldn't really be asked. I made sure I got my steps and I was monitoring my steps. I was looking at like, what is it that you did? Just something so simple that proves you are that woman you're becoming. Ate prep food, yeah. Pip reached out to you, yeah. So Pip reached out to me today. She's interested in joining the program. So I thought I'd invite her along this evening to let her know what she's getting in for and the kind of reprobates we have in this program. I thought it was only right to show her all the weirdos in here. Eleanor went to the gym today when I didn't have to. Yeah, awesome, awesome. Leanne, I worked 11 hours, hit 16K. I'm still awake. Love that, mate. Carrie, I posted in the group and turned up to work, even though I couldn't be asked with this 13-hour shift. Ouch, that's tough. You do some serious hours, Kaz, I will say that. Donna, 2 sessions at home, one working from home. You little gym nerd, you little exercise geek. Jesus Christ, what are we creating here, Donna? Michelle, I went to the gym when I drove past, went home and taught, and I'm back. Ah, that's a good one, Michelle. That's prime fucking example right there. That's prime example. So you went past it, nearly ditched it, but went back and got shit done. Love that. Well done, you, mate. Michaela, I stood up for myself and I've now got a plan of action to help. Ah, yes. Yes, Michaela. Michaela, message me tomorrow. I want to hear all about that. Awesome. Right. Where did you allow low frequency thinking to make a decision today? And this might not even be applicable to you today. You might have not allowed any low frequency to allow a decision. But is there anything today that you did? Who's this guy on the right by the picture, by the way? Why have they used him? Some Harry Potter looking weirdo. Anyway, yeah, is there anything, any negative or low frequency you allowed to make a decision for you today? Yeah, no worries, Michaela. Of course, mate. Yeah, I've had one of them days myself, to be fair. But yeah, when you get a chance tomorrow, let's have a little catch up. Um, and last one. In fact, let's get to this last one. What is the one thing you're proud of from today? Doesn't have to be perfect. I couldn't give a shit if it was perfect. We're not after perfection. We're after progression, right? So what one thing you're truly proud of today that you've done? It doesn't have to be anything fucking breaking anyway, does it? But what's one thing that we can go to bed tonight and say, you know what? Well done, me. I did well there. That was good. What are we on? Michelle, going to the gym. Perfect. Showing up for myself. Not letting other people's behaviour spoil my day. Yes, Eleanor, like that. Not losing my shit and looking a uh, never want to look like a tot, do we, Donna? Terrible. Sophie, I used to not run when on my monthlies this week. I pushed myself to run while on. You're an absolute machine, Sophie. In fact, you're making me look lazy at this point. So would you pack it in? I might actually have to change your program about. Bring you down a peg or two. Don't know who you think you are. Vic, my staff bought Mackey's to work at lunch. I got my prep salad. That is impressive. Oh, can you imagine what people were saying as well, Vic? What they were thinking? Green with envy that you've got that level of discipline. And can you imagine how they felt once they ate that Mackey's and then felt like shit and there's you being all smug? They hated me. Let them hate, mate. Let them hate with that dodgy beef in their belly. I actually did a bit of research into McDonald's beef burgers the other day. Went down a wormhole, didn't I? Long story short, never eating it again. Ever. Even whilst pissed. Quick question, ladies. McDonald's sell like 25 million burgers a day, which would equate to like something like 2 million cows being slaughtered a day. Where are all the cow farms? Where are these millions of cattle that's needed on a daily basis? Where are they? Brazil. Fucking for every fucking country in the world. Honestly, it's actually just made me stomach feel a bit weird. Why are we talking about McDonald's beef anyway? Ladies, stop letting me go off on the fucking got shit to do. Right. The real truth about manifestation. Manifestation isn't about attracting the life you want while staying exactly who you are. This is what I meant. It's not about thinking things and think, I really want this myself, so I'm going to visualize it and it's going to happen. No. It's about becoming that person that life is a natural result of. If you become that individual that wakes up with a positive attitude each day, that looks for positive opportunities, that doesn't let these mood hoovers affect us, that does the things that we need to do on a daily basis, regardless of how we feel, these things that we want in life will happen as a byproduct. The version of you that you keep glimpsing in your best moments, she's not some future person who might show up if the stars align and everything's right. She is already there. She's been suppressed by years of low frequency thinking, self doubt, and a life that keeps putting you last. And Slimming World. All the shit stuff, right? And I say this to people all the time. That person that you want to be, that person you think you need to be, is already there. It's already inside you. You just have to cut loose from all this self doubt bullshit and all these low frequency thinking. So the 40% rule removes that pressure that stops her showing up, removes that pressure of not having to think you've got to be perfect all the time. The identity work removes the belief that she's not real. Because I've still had this in the program where clients get these incredible results, but they never really truly believed they'd get there. They had to get there to believe it. Start believing it now. It quickens up the process, ladies. Act like the person you want to be, not think you need to be the person to make those actions. The environment, remove the voices that tell her she's wrong. And that could be the voices in your head. I mean, if you're having literal voices in your head, you probably need to go and talk to someone. But the self-talk that we have and the negative Nancy's that we have around us, i.e., negative knobs, I'd prefer to say. So you don't need to become someone new. You know, I'm not changing the person that you are in this program. I'm trying to get you to stop suppressing who you already were and who you're always meant to be, you know? Start tonight, not next week. Take 12 minutes doing that every morning and share what comes up. And that's it. That is it. Ladies, let me know what's the take home for that. What did it mean to you? So to recap, manifestation is real, right? But a lot of it is down to the actions and identity we put behind it. Like I said, we cannot sit at the foot of our bed each night praying quite literally for a miracle. We need to visualize it. We need to believe it. And we need to start taking action as the person who's already fucking there. So when you wake up tomorrow, ask yourself, what is the person you want to be? How do they look? How do they feel? How do they live? And then ask, what do they do? How do they act? So if you wake up tomorrow with your tits in a twist about something, and you're not quite feeling it, and you're feeling a bit ropey, and you've had a shit sleep, ask yourself, what's that woman that I want to become? What would she do in this situation? Or she'd quit the bullshit, stop wasting time chatting in her own head, and go and get shit done anyway. Because on the other side of that is that identity you've been craving, the identity you've been looking for, and the life that you've always wanted. And that's fucking that. All right, let's catch up on these messages. Um, no bird's eye chicken is from Brazil. It isn't 100% British. Harry, I'm talking about beef that come from cows, not chicken. What are you on about? Crank. What are you on about? And don't get me started on chicken anyway. Have you ever watched that documentary about KFC chicken? They're not even chickens, like organisms with tubes in the neck. Anyway, one day I'm going to arrive on one of these seminars with a massive tinfoil hat on, and I don't want anyone to mention a thing. Leanne, I really want to shower. Leanne, what the hell's that? Is everyone losing their head? What are you on about? Go and have a shower then, smelly. Michelle, love it. Let's make it a habit. Yeah, let's make it a habit. Good shout. Gayla, manifest the life we want by believing, acting, and taking ownership of the life we want and deserve. Love that. Well put, Michaela. At least someone's brain cells are firing up. Carrying over, but gone wrong. Believe in yourself and watch what will happen. Yeah, belief's everything. Like I said, if you believe you can or you can't, you're right. If you consistently believe and tell yourself that you can't, you can't. You can't do it until you start truly believing that you've got what it takes and you can do this and you fucking will do this. Oh yeah, seen it. I answered Brazil, but it was a chicken, not the big. Carrie, you need to go home from work, I think. I would not trust you to make any food for me the way you're talking here. If you're getting chicken and cows mixed up, what hope is there? Anyway, oh fucking hell! I just realised. I've just realised